a unique individual because she is a United States Marine Corps veteran. So we get a chance to hear about the company. We get a chance to hear about her service, which we thank her for. Happy to be on Cannabis Radio and the Sexpot Comedy Co-op. Okay, so, I mean, you know, she's from the East Coast, but she's on the West Coast. It's Jayn Greene. You might know that brand name, and you might know Tangy. Tangy, how are you?
I am awesome, Seth. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You let me call you Tangy because Tangy is tough.
It is tough. Most people, it's more, intimidating by the look. It's not as bad as when you say it out, but Tangy works just for me in this industry, yeah.
That's kind of like me. I'm more intimidating by the look. But you know that because you've met me. So what are you doing with Jayn Greene? What give us the overview so that we know about it just in case.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. And I really just want to just say hello to everyone out there. I am Tanganika, CEO and founder of Jayn Greene, and it's spelled a little funny. So can I spell it out for your audience really quickly? Just
sure.
So you know, it's J-A. Okay, so it's Jayngrene, and it's again a cannabis brand. Currently, we offer skincare products for men and women that has THC and hemp in it. It's 100% natural. It's non-psychoactive, and we're working on launching our first ebook at the end of this week. So it'll be called "Saying No." Not in the know, saying yes to cannabis. That's what it is. Not in the know, saying yes to cannabis.
All right, so say no, so it's K-N-O-W.
No, it's not in the know, like saying no. Like
not
you're
in
no
the
longer
know.
saying no. Yeah, not in the know, saying yes to cannabis.
Oh, wow. Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to make it clever, but that's because I try to do that too much. All right, so skincare products, non-psychoactive, so they're topicals.
That's correct.
All right.
That is correct.
And if I remember correctly, you gave me the beard situation for my beard, right?
I did. So the guy portion is a beard balm and a beard oil. And it's great because all of these products are multi-purpose. They can go on. I have guys using it for their cuticles, guys using it for their lips, their scalp. It can go all over your body. So it's not just for your beard. And again, it increases that blood circulation underneath your skin, helps your hair grow thicker and stronger. A lot of guys have those patchy beards that don't grow in very well. So that's the problem we're trying to alleviate here at Jayn Greene.
Got it. Well, I do not have that issue. My beard does grow in, so I'm happy about that. But I tried the beard stuff. It was good. I appreciated it. So
awesome.
Yeah. So now let's get to the next bit here, which is, this is great that you're doing this now. But when I first met you, you told me that you are a veteran, and I want to say again that we appreciate your service.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so awesome. Thank you.
So what service were you in?
So I am a Marine Corps veteran. I did 2 tours in Iraq. So yeah, I'm really proud about that.
I mean, so you were there. This is no joke.
Oh no, this is extremely real. I'm talking about 2005 Fallujah in the thick heart of the shit. Yeah, that's real.
All right. So, Marine, am I allowed to say hooah?
Hoorah, yeah, of course.
All right, and then let's go through these 2 tours. Let's go through. When you were a little kid, did you always want to be in the military? How did that happen?
So it's a true story. I literally was a cheerleader before I even joined the military. I had no clue what the military was, didn't know anything about the branches, so naive, so closed off in my little world, my little happy world. And so I got accepted to all of these colleges, and I did not, nor my parents had the money to pay for me to go to school. So my dad, who was an Air Force veteran, he told me, he said, don't rule out the military. I grew up very religious, so one portion, one half of my mom, her side, she was like, no military. And so for that reason, I never thought of it. And so my dad was like, don't rule it out. So I said, okay, I go to the branches, I talk to all of them. And just so happened, the Marine Corps called me back first. That's the only reason I went to them.
That's the only reason. That's crazy.
Literally the only reason. Yeah.
So when you were growing up, your dad, I mean, how tough was he being an Air Force guy?
Air Force is really chill. They're really like smart and can use their words. So I never really it wasn't a strict military home. He talked to me. He, was very vocal and verbal with his punishments and discipline. And that was worse than any other stay in your room type thing. Those sit down talks that last hours, that type of thing.
So he got into your head. It's much easier to get yelled at and go run away than actually have to talk about what you did wrong, right?
Absolutely. It's more mental is way worse than physical. I learned that in the military because your physical ailments, not to say that, we have several military and service members who have debilitating circumstances that are physical. I'm not saying that, but really it's about mind over matter. And that's the type of, upbringing that I had. And that was forcibly instilled once I joined the military.
All right. So then they're the first ones to call you back, the Marines. And then what happens? How do you, what are the first kind of, obviously I have no military service. I'm purely in the dark on this. So when they called you back, what's the next step? What's the first step?
So the first step is meeting them and doing an ASVAB, which is the test that you take to see what you would rank or how you would, what job they would put you in the military. So I did the ASVAB and scored really high on it. So I was told I was going to get one job and I ended up getting another. It was just crazy the way it worked out. But so you do the ASVAB, you go to basic training. Marine Corps has the longest basic training out of all the branches. So I did 13 weeks in South Carolina.
Okay. And you said mind over matter, and it was really tough, and it's 13 weeks, and I'm sure I can't even imagine it. When you say basic training, I think anything from Stripes with Bill Murray to Full Metal Jacket by Stanley Kubrick. These are motion pictures. These have nothing to do with reality, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Full Metal Jacket could possibly come close, but it's one of those things. You have to be there. You have to mentally endure flies on your face that you can't wipe off. You have to endure cold weather, and it's mental. It's no gloves on you. You just have to be tougher than tough. The toughest person you've ever been in your life that you never thought you could make it through. So once you get to graduation, it's just bring it on, world. Bring it on, life. Whatever.
Nothing's going to beat me now type of thing.
Mm-mm.
So after the 13 weeks, what happened? Where'd you go?
So after 13 weeks, I get stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. You go to school first, which is your schooling for your MOS, your military occupational specialist. And when I was there, when we first got our deployment orders to go to Iraq, I was extremely scared. I didn't know if that was going to be it. Again, I was in Iraq in 2005. I'm in Fallujah. I'm in Ramadi. I'm in really tough places. So before I went, you have to mentally prepare yourself that this could be it. We had a lot of talks. We gathered together. We prepared our family. There's a lot of discussions with your family on how to cope. You leave a will. At 19, 20, I have a will. These are the type of things that we're, experiencing at such a young age.
That is crazy. And for those that don't remember, Fallujah, Ramadi, though, I mean, that's front lines, 2005. And what was the job that they were training you in? What did you wind up doing there?
I ended up being supply, and supply is huge in the military because we, our job can mean the life or death, literally, for your gear, for your food, for everything. I was in charge of every single item, millions of dollars worth of assets in the military that I had to distribute and make sure it got to this right place in Afghanistan and Iraq. And then when I got to Iraq, I had to, distribute the gear throughout the country. So it was a really, really important job. And I ended up not able to go to another duty station because my job was so important and because I was so good at it. So it ended up being one of those things, logistics. I moved everything from pencils to people, honestly.
Yeah. No, there's a guy, from the first Gulf War. He's an Army guy. His name is Gus Pagonis. He did the first Gulf War. He did all the logistics, and wound up at Sears after that doing their logistics. But the way that he described it was basically you don't have a war or you don't have service, without logistics, obviously.
Absolutely.
But you're the linchpin of everything. It's either the people, the artillery. It either gets her or it doesn't. And that's Tangy doing that. Is what it sounds like.
That's
there
me.
You
and
go.
then when I got to Iraq, I was the only person. One of the only people qualified with hazardous material certification. So then that got added to my plate. So I was a part of some major operations while in country that I'm really proud to say that I helped make happen.
Unbelievable. And how long were you over there the first time?
First time, 7 months deployment. And then the second time I did 6 because I was about to get out. Okay.
And so then first off, what I want to know is how it mentally was to leave, and then I want to talk about the moment that they actually asked you to redeploy. But first, coming home, what was that like?
Yeah, so that was literally, I saw people getting off the bus, literally kissing the ground, literally getting off, stepping to the side, getting on their knees and getting down, kissing the ground, just happy they made it back on U.S. soil, just happy they're able to see their loved ones. It was so many of my friends that had babies while they were gone. They were meeting for the first time. I was married at the time, so I had my ex-husband waiting on me, when I got off. So that was awesome to have some support while I was there. But yeah, it was just one of those things oh my, I made it. I made it back. Literally, can you believe this? We're home. It was that type of feeling.
That's crazy. That's amazing. So then you get the call to be redeployed. What was that?
Yeah. So you know what? And to really be honest, I think I have to say this. The second time I actually volunteered. Ain't that crazy?
It does sound crazy, Tangy.
It does. No, I know. So let me tell you. So the first time I see all of these Marines, getting pregnant so they don't have to go. And I'm just that's horrible. I wouldn't do that. You still have to deal with a baby. I'm not dealing with that. So I went, and then the scary part is the unknown. I will not lie to you. The scary part is not knowing what you're going and getting into. And of course, I am literally changed the rest of my life because of it. There was sounds and smells that I'll never be able to get rid of. There's visuals that I'll never be able to push out of my brain. But the fact that I made it through, I think it was just one of those things you're just it's not so bad. Yeah, I'll go back if you want. They were asking for volunteers and I needed the money. At the time when I was getting ready to get out, I wanted to prepare and make sure I was setting myself up correctly. So yeah, it was no problem. I'll go. It's fine.
And you knew that you were good at what they were asking you to do.
Yes, I knew my job in and out. I was so confident, and I knew I wouldn't stay as long as everyone else because I was getting ready to get out. So I was yeah, I'll go for a few months. It ended up, I was supposed to go for 4, ended up being 6, but even still, I was able to come back on that first round of people that they let leave. And yeah, I was able to come out and buy a house. So it worked out.
That did work out. If you were able to come out and buy a house, that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. And is that when you went to Orange County or to Pasadena or to the LA County or wherever you are?
I actually got out and I went back home to Atlanta. I did the school thing for a while, tried nursing school, and I ended up not getting accepted to nursing school. So that's another little nugget about me. And it changed the whole course of my life.
Well, wait a second. Here's you get in, right?
Mm-hmm.
They think that you're smart enough and good enough, and it winds up that you are smart enough and good enough to literally move the U.S. military so that we can have success, right? So you're good enough for that, but somehow we can't have you be a nurse. How does that make sense?
It devastated me because I was the type of person, I was so disciplined when I got out the military. all I'm doing is going to school. At this point, like my friends are like, let's go do this, let's go party. Like, this concert is happening, right? I'm like, no, I have classes, I have school. Right. Like, this is serious. And then to bleed school like that and then just get this rejection letter, it hurt so bad. And I didn't have a plan B at the time. All I wanted to be was a nurse. So I ended up, dusting my shoulders off and was like, okay, let me figure out what else I want to do. I transferred those credits and I ended up going to the Art Institute of Washington, graduated from there, and I just sold everything and just drove cross country and just came to Cali.
So, okay. Now let's just capture your thoughts and feelings in retrospect about the nursing thing. In retrospect, what do you think it was? That wasn't a match.
I think that it was two things. Number one, I was extremely cocky because I was going to school. I was just like, I'm a shoo-in. They see how hard I'm working. They're going to let me in. And so it was such a rude awakening when I didn't. So that was one. But number two, I think that was just the universe telling me that was not my calling. That was not something that I wanted to do. That honestly, I want to help people. So I thought that was the job and the occupation that I needed to be in. But cannabis opens up so many more doors that couldn't have been opened by nursing alone and what I was trying to do. So I am exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, so you took Route 66 to cannabis, basically.
I did, yeah.
So when did you get the idea for Jayn Greene?
Jayn Greene came, I was already debating what I wanted to do when I was still in DC, and I just came up with like different names and stuff. So I ended up going to my first convention in November of last year, and I went to the MJ Business Conference, and it was just so awesome. And I kept thinking, like, I've got to be a part of this. I just have to, sit down, think about what I want to do. And Jayn Greene is a combination of things. Jayn, number one, could be anyone. It could be Jane. I thought of Jane Doe. Like, that could be any person. I switched up, the way it's spelled just to make it unique. And Greene, honestly, we call cannabis green in Atlanta. That's what we grew up. That's what we call it. We like, get some green or something. So green just is for tranquility. It's just for peacefulness. It's for, I just put those two together and I just thought it worked. So, yeah. Yeah,
no, it definitely does. And then how did you stumble upon topicals specifically?
Topical. So I'm in a class. Everything that I do is cannabis related now. So when I first got in, even now today, I'm just like hungry, want to read everything about cannabis. So I'm taking this class, and it was a 420 class or something like that, cannabis education class. And I'm sitting next to this guy, and he puts on this topical that literally, Seth, it smelled so horrible. My nostrils, like, they were ridiculous. Like, I couldn't get the smell out my nostrils, and my eyes were tearing up. I'm like, there's got to be a better way. There just has to be something else on the market that smells good and still helps. So I started playing around with stuff, and I already made topicals for myself because I want all natural products. So I tend to make those for myself. So I just started playing and giving them to friends, and they loved them, and then it just turned into a business, actually.
But where does that come from? I mean, we talked about the fact that you're in the military. Where was this kind of propensity to mix and match products to actually have something there?
It actually came out of nowhere. Like, that, literally that day changed my life. Like, I was like, that topical smell horrible. There's got to be a better way. And because I was already making my own, so I was like, let me see what I can do. Let me add cannabis to it. Let's see how that works. And it literally just came out of nowhere. The things that I was able to create, and the scents and the medicinal value, the scars. I started trying it on myself. Like, let me put it on this spot every day and see if it works. And it did. And then I started giving it to other people just to see if it worked for them. And it did. So I was just like, wow, let me just bottle this up and see what I can do with it.
And so you came upon your kind of your solution, your magic formula. And when did you realize that it wasn't psychoactive, and how can you be sure that it's not?
Well, topicals are genuinely not psychoactive anyway. Your skin obviously is your biggest and most important organ. And so you want to make sure that that's moisturized and make sure that it's taken care of. And so the ingredients, number one, that I use in my topicals are organic, and they're the best ingredients that you can find for your skin to nourish and moisturize it as well. And so I started to just, come up with a formula that really, really worked. And once I started to do that and I added cannabis to it, I make sure that I add less than 5% to it. And it has been tested, so I make sure that way. But yeah, it doesn't cross into your bloodstream, so you're able to not get those THC effects from it.
Good. You're getting it tested, obviously, just like any other business in the space.
Absolutely.
So beard balm, beard oil, body butter, those are the main products now. What's maybe next?
Yeah, so I'm not waiting for 2016, but 2016 is going to be huge for me. Again, this week, before Christmas, we'll be dropping the ebook, Not in the Know, Saying Yes to Cannabis. And in that book, we'll be talking about just the healing properties. We'll give you some charts on the states that have legalized and the states that we predict will be legalized in the future. We'll be talking about things that in the industry that I would love for others to speak about, the benefits of cannabis and why the myths that have caused it to be put in such a negative light in the first place. We address those in the book. And then 2016, I'm working on The Secret Life of Tremors. That is a documentary I'm working on. I just left Oregon, where I left a huge grow up there. It was awesome to sit down with this community of trimmers that come from all walks of life, from different countries, people from Belgium, Australia, from Louisiana. Like, everyone there was different, and they just come into this communal environment. They eat together, they sleep together, they enjoy each other, but they just trim all day. And I just don't think people know about this story. And so me and my co-producer Keiko Beatty, she's the former COO of the US Weed Channel, we teamed up and we're doing this. So that'll be coming out in 2016.
Excellent. Fantastic. And I like how you said countries like Australia and Louisiana, because for those who have been in Louisiana, that is a different country.
That is.
And I mean that in the best way possible. So,
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. So we got 3 final questions for you, and I'll tell you what they are, and then I'll ask you.
Okay.
The first question is, what has most surprised you in cannabis? Second question is, what has most surprised you in life? And then the third question is, if there's one song, one track on Tangy's soundtrack of life, what is that? So first things first, what has most surprised you in cannabis?
Honestly, the most surprising thing about this is the professionalism of this industry. When I first joined, and the non-diversity, when I first joined the industry, I went to this convention and I just did not expect, honestly, so many Caucasian, European-looking people to be there, and I mean that in the nicest way, obviously. But I just didn't expect it to be like khakis and like a button-down shirt and like investors and ArcView and like millions and billions of dollars are being poured into this industry, and I just didn't expect it to like be as professional as it is, and that's the best thing I think has surprised me.
There you go. All right. What has most surprised you in life? Now, this is a person that's done 2 tours in Iraq, so we've got to understand that that's who we're asking.
I think that in life, my ability to bounce back has really, really surprised me. Even going through boot camp, even going through 2 tours in Iraq. When I got out, I just felt like I would be okay. Like, I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I'm about to come home to bells and whistles. They love me. And the reality is that's not true. That's not true at all. I was homeless for a while when I first got to California. Didn't know which way was up. And so you just fight through all of these moments. And once you get through it and you look past it and you are able to say, okay, I made it through that once again. That's something else I can check off my list. I'm stronger than this. I am, you just you get happy about what you can do for yourself.
Yeah, I don't know how much you want to talk about it, but you just mentioned you were homeless when you got out to the West Coast. What happened there?
Yeah, so I came out here And I originally was supposed to stay with a relative. And when I got here, I stayed with them for a little while, and then they were like, well, we got to remodel the house, and so we need your room because I got to move in your room. And I was like, okay, well, okay. I mean, what can you say? What can you do? So I had to move out, and I had nowhere to go because I came out here on my own, and I was determined to make it. And so, you do what you have to do. I'm thankful I had a car that I could sleep in because some people don't have that, and it was cold, some nights that it was just unbearable. So I'm just thankful I had that. And again, it's just not to throw a pity party for myself, but it's my reality. It happened, and I was able to push through it. And Jayn Greene is up and thriving. I'm able to help other veterans. I'm a part of We for Warrior Project, which offers insight on the 50 plus service members that commit suicide a day. And I'm able to, give back. And a portion of my book will go to support the We for Warrior Project because we have so many homeless vets out there.
Yeah. No, that's a tragedy. I mean, that's the appropriate use of the word tragedy for our veterans to be homeless. It's not right.
Yeah.
All right. So to kind of end on a little bit of a lighter note, Tangy, let's go into the into your iPod.
Okay.
Or I guess your Spotify playlist. I guess I'm dating myself. Let's go into your tape recorder.
Okay.
Right. Let's go into exactly. Let's. What one song? What do you give me one? 8-track? What?
Yeah. I was at the portable CD phase. Like that's where I'm at. So I remember that. Do you remember?
Oh yeah. And then you gotta like hold it real steady so it doesn't.
Don't move. Don't trip up. Don't do that. You gotta be real steady.
No. That's it. So what song? What track would be on the soundtrack of your life? If one or two, I guess. But is there one in particular?
You know what? My one song that I just love, no matter what, is Drake, Proud of You. I'm so proud of you. Like, that is my song. And I'm just like, I listen to the words. I know things get hard, but girl, you got it. You got it. There you go. Like, I got it. I mean, with everything that comes up in life, you just got to look at yourself and like, I'm proud of me. I am proud of what I was able to get through. I'm proud of my future because I know how bright it is. I know where I'm headed. I know the things I'm possible and capable of doing. So yeah, I'm proud of me. And so Drake is too, obviously.
There you go. You know why I like Drake, right?
Why do you like Drake?
Because he's Jewish.
Yeah, yes, that's a great reason to like Drake.
Yeah, sure. Well, but...
No, when you have something in common with that works. Whatever your commonality is, that works.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's either the fact that we're Jewish or international, hip hop sensations.
Celebrity.
It's one of the two.
One of those two are the reasons that,
Tangy from Jayn Greene, thank you so much. Really appreciate the time.
I can't thank you enough for having me. Thank you so much, Steph. You're awesome. Can't wait to see you in Puerto Rico next year.
You got it. There you have Tangy Daniel. So happy to talk to her about what she's doing with her company. So happy to talk to her about what she did for her service to the country. I can't thank her enough for her service, and neither can you. So really appreciated the conversation with Tangy. We are very happy to be on Cannabis Radio and the Sexpot Comedy Co-op.